Right, we had to do this at some point, so let's get started. We need to review every Sonic game ever made, main timeline and spin-offs. We feature a lot of fan games on this channel, and without the context of the official games, it's very difficult to explain the divergences for all these wild and wacky projects. So let's go back to the beginning, back to the 23rd of June 1991 to discuss the original Sonic the Hedgehog for the Mega Drive. Sonic himself was very much conceived as a mascot character to dethrone Nintendo's Super Mario. Designed during an in-house contest at Sega to find a new mascot, Naoto Oshima would win the contest with his original design, codenamed Mr. Needlemouse at the time. The game he would star in was being developed by Yuji Naka, who had created an engine that allowed for fast movement and use of momentum using curved terrain. This would eventually become the first game in the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise, and a landmark title for Sega and the Mega Drive itself. The game is set up in a fairly straightforward affair. Each zone has 3 acts to complete, and at the end of the 3rd act you fight a boss. The boss would always take the form of the evil Dr. Robotnik, an evil dictator hell-bent on enslaving the inhabitants of Sonic's world in robots and generally just destroying the natural environment and taking over as ruler of the world. A typical Sonic stage will see you moving from left to right, doing careful platforming, jumping on robots to free the critters, and using loops and curved terrain to gain momentum and blast through the stages faster. It's an intense, hyperactive equivalent to the original Super Mario Bros., with Sonic's speed capped at Mario's running speed without having to hold a button down to accelerate. Sonic can only break the speed cap once he's in a ball, which can be achieved by pressing down and letting the momentum of the stages take you to incredible speeds. What's interesting is that you can mitigate the increased speed by simply jumping and getting Sonic back into his running animation while holding left or right, and you'll go back to the previous speed cap. This makes Sonic considerably more manoeuvrable for the platforming the game requires you to do. It's certainly a game that's a little more unforgiving than most platformers, tasking you to understand a pretty complex use of momentum very quickly. In addition to simply running through every stage and defeating every boss, a bonus incentive is also included. Taking 50 rings to the goalpost of any Act 1 or 2 stage will open a giant ring that Sonic can jump into to access a special stage. There are 6 unique special stages in the game, and each houses a Chaos Emerald as its goal. The Chaos Emeralds are the ultimate treasure in Sonic's world, and contain immense power that, if put in the wrong hands, could spell disaster. Dr. Robotnik is also looking to obtain these emeralds, and if you fail to collect them all before the game's final zone, you'll be awarded the bad ending of the game where Robotnik gains control of the emeralds. However, if you collect them all, you defeat Robotnik's evil scheme and life is brought back to Sonic's world. As first entries go, Sonic the Hedgehog for Mega Drive successfully encapsulates what the main character is all about, what he's going up against and how you go about doing it. Sure, it's a little hard to get your head around at first, but stick with it and you'll find a fast, responsive platformer full of character that rewards mastery of its momentum. This title does not feature any way to get Sonic up to higher speeds without use of momentum, and it's a better game for it. Its direct sequel will introduce a spin dash, which allows Sonic to charge up some speed and shoot off without having to manipulate his momentum using the environment. This inclusion does make the game a little more accessible, but it also defeats one of the main objectives. The original Sonic game makes you appreciate how well the stages are designed, so that players can use momentum efficiently and get past certain obstacles like loops, using nothing but the base movement of the character. Learning to play Sonic without the spin dash really helps players going into later Mega Drive entries, because it sets a base standard that always feels the same and creates a familiarity that allows you to tackle new enemies, obstacles and abilities without having to relearn everything from scratch for a new game. It's this core set of mechanics that make these early Mega Drive Sonic titles so accessible, because they bothered to establish a house style for mainline Sonic titles that unfortunately gets lost down the line. But that's a discussion for a different video.